Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, just wanted to make a quick video going into how everything that's going on with this war between Israel and Iran, how it's affecting the people. You know, how it's affecting the civilians, the people who have nothing to do with the decision making of the earth, and who are affected by the people making the decision, which is the people is going into the wicked, the wicked, starting with Esau Edom, because we know that he is the one that's ruling the earth. Okay, and this brother GMS in Rome lines on fire. You know, GMS in Rome lines on fire. Slovakia. The brother in Dallas, he had uploaded this news clip, which is, you know, it's been circulated now, of a bomb, the Iran news station, and one of the main ones, or if not the main one, being bombed. And this lady, this woman right here, she was going live as it got bombed. And from what the brother had said, this lady didn't make it out alive. They said that they seen her arm under some rubble and they already knew it was her, knew she was dead, you know? And this is literally moments right before her death. Her death was moments after she was on live, during her live stream, you know? But this is all the results of this wicked man being in power, you know? And I'm going to get a couple scriptures on that, which I'm going to play just the first clip of it. And Lord will, I don't get no copyright. I know it ain't going to come from the brother or nothing, but, you know, this clip is on other, pages or nothing. So hopefully, you know, copyright, and I got to redo the video or take the actual video portion of it down, which I'm pretty sure a lot of brothers and sisters will see it if you haven't seen it. But I'm going to play it, and I'm going to get a couple scriptures. And Lord will, is edifying.
فضای غبارآلوده استدیو
Yes. Right. And it's unclear what they were saying. You know, I don't know exactly what they were saying, but like I said, the brother said in the video that that woman, she died, you know, at that very moment. Whenever she ran off the screen and wherever she ran to or however it happened, he said that they had found her arm under some rubble and they knew it was her, you know. So that's literally what these people are going through. These civilians in these other countries, these people in these other nations, that's what they're going through right now, mainly in Iran and Israel war. But this is all prophecy. And it's coming to America, you know. America's not going to be untouched. It's not untouchable no more. And the time for America to be on the earth and to thrive as a nation and as a country is over. Now it's time for this place to be destroyed. But just going into the people across the that's in the direct war right now, these people are not rejoicing. These people are mourning. Their lives are they can lose their life at any moment. And that same spirit, that same mentality is coming to Babylon the Great. So this is a Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Now, like it say, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When Yahweh returns and the Israelites are on top and we are ruling the earth in righteousness, none of this will ever happen again. There will be no fear of random wars popping off and people losing their lives because of the decisions being made by the rulership, by the leadership. None of that will ever happen again. Because when the kingdom of heaven is established, it's going to be peace forever. And it ain't going to be no nations that's going to go to war. You know, that's not going to happen no more. The Lord said, matter of fact, I'm going to get that. In fact, I'm gonna get. Let me see. I'm gonna read both of them. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 10. It says, "Beat your plowshares into swords, and say, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." See, that's the spirit and the energy that's in the earth right now, because we at the end of this empire, the last heathen empire that's supposed to rule on the earth. So this is where we at right now. But the time is coming where the Lord is he's finna, after that time, I'm trying to figure out which one I want to get. They both say the same thing. I guess I'll get Isaiah. This is Isaiah 2:4. He shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Verse 4 in the AMP, he will judge between the nations, and will mediate disputes for many peoples, and they will beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up a sword against nation, and they will not learn war. They will never again learn war. So going back to that Proverbs, like it said, when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Proverbs 29:2 again, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's why so much death and destruction on the earth, because the wicked is ruling right now. And the people are mourning because of all the chaos. And it, like I said, it hasn't even reached over here in America yet. These people over here have no clue what's coming, but they're going to be in for an even ruder awakening than what the people in the Middle East are experiencing, and what people ultimately on the other parts of the earth have been experiencing. It's going to be even more detrimental. At least those people know, about, those type of wars. You can never prepare for those type of events, but at least they are aware of what can happen and what can go down, and what to do when these type of events happen. But the people over here in America, they're going to be caught off guard. It ain't never happened over here. So people ain't going to know how to react. It's going to be a lot of chaos and a lot of death. So I'm going to get one more, because like I said, when the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice. This is why. This is, let me see. All right, this is Isaiah 9:6. Salakia. I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." And this going into those thermonuclear missiles. See, everything that's happening right now is leading up to this point. Because all the ancient wars in the ancient world was fought with sword. It was close quarters combat, with the exception of having certain things like catapults or bow and arrow, primarily, which would be your longer range weaponry. But most of the battling was close combat. But this one is going to be long range primarily. That's why the intercontinental ballistic missiles exist. Thermonuclear missiles, being able to travel from one part of the earth to the next. And that's why I say burning and fuel of fire. Verse 6, "For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given." That us is the nation of Israel. And the son and the child is given is Yahweh Shah. It says, "And the government shall be upon his shoulder," meaning the governing of the earth, starting with him and 144,000 under him. It says, "And his name shall be called a Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." The Prince of Peace. And this is Yahweh. This is a title. All these are titles for Yahweh Shah, but primarily being the Prince of Peace. Because, like I said, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. And that's what's shortly to come after the times that we coming on now have ended. But we're going into the beginning of these times. So these events that's taking place on earth have to happen. And the people that's being affected by it, it has to happen, you know? Because the whole earth is going to see why this man Esau Edom should never rule again. And why no other heathen nation should ever rule. Only the nation of Israel are qualified to rule the earth. And again, these nations are finna find that out the hard way. Even our own people finna find that out the hard way. You know? It was something else I was thinking, but I done forgot the scripture now. Oh, I remember. Why the hell about Shema Shai? Let me see. How is it worded? This is Sirach chapter 10, verses 1 and 2. Well, 1 through 3. Well, 1 through 4. Yeah, 1 through 4. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Now, we just read that the government of Yahweh Shai's kingdom is going to be upon his shoulders, and 144,000 are going to be alongside him, judging the earth and govern the earth with him. So a wise judge will instruct his people. That's what Yahweh Shai doing now, teaching his elect and waking and getting his elect mind together. You know, started with the men getting their minds together. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. So each this goes right into what it says in Isaiah 32, 1 and 2 in the AMP. It says, behold, a king will reign in righteousness, and princes will rule in justice. Going into, again, a government that's going to be established in the kingdom of heaven. Now, each one of them will be like a hiding place from the wind, and a shelter from the storm, like streams of water in a dry land, like the shade of a huge rock in a parched and weary land to those who turn to them. The point being each one of them, because each one of them will be just like Yahweh Shai. Okay? So going back, as the judge of the people is himself, Yahweh Shai, so are his officers, the government, the 144,000. And ultimately, all men in the nation of Israel will be righteous. It says, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. See, there it is. And ultimately, the whole nation is going to be righteous, both man and women. But it starts with the man. Now, verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited, which is a precept to that Proverbs. The unwise king that destroyeth his people is Esau Edom. He destroying his people. He destroying the people over here in America and ultimately the whole earth, because he is an unwise king and he's unfit to rule. It said, but through the prudence of them which are in the authority, the city shall be inhabited. So this is talking about the restoration of the earth when Yahweh Shai and 144,000 are in power. Now, verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it the one that is profitable. And we coming upon that time now. But in order for that time to come about, this wicked kingdom has to be destroyed. And that's why we're seeing all these events take place on the earth. So Yahweh Shai can usher in the kingdom of heaven. These events has to take place, and this kingdom has to go down and be destroyed, and chaos has to erupt over the earth so that Yahweh Shai can come back and clean up the earth in righteousness. You know? So everything that's happening is prophecy. And the people that's affected by it are mourning, which eventually is going to reach over here to Babylon the Great, and all the people going to be mourning, you know? But that's going to make not only just the nation of Israel appreciate a righteous kingdom on earth, but the other nations, and ultimately the whole earth is going to appreciate a righteous kingdom ruling on the earth. So Lord will, this was an edifying lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakavadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.